There are stars who shine because of fame, and then there are stars who shine because of truth. Diane Keaton has always belonged to the second kind. She is not just an actress. She is a mirror, a muse, and a mystery. Through her laughter, quirks, and fearless vulnerability, Keaton built a career that redefined what it meant to be a woman in film. She never tried to be perfect. She tried to be real. And in doing so, she gave Hollywood something it didn't know it needed: authenticity wrapped in humor, intelligence, and quiet rebellion. Diane Keaton was born on January 5, 1946, in Los Angeles, California, a city already pulsing with dreams. Her mother, Dorothy Hall, was a homemaker and amateur photographer, while her father, Jack Hall, worked as a civil engineer. In that home, imagination was not just encouraged, it was nurtured. Her mother's creativity, especially her passion for documenting life through photographs and scrapbooks, would later shape Diane's artistic spirit. From a young age, she was captivated by the idea of storytelling, not just acting, but observing the way people were. It's this observation, this curiosity about humanity, that would later define her acting style. She attended Santa Ana High School, where she discovered her love for performing, and later enrolled at the neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in New York City. Like many greats before her, Diane's path began on the stage. She arrived in New York hungry to learn, to explore, to live freely. In those early years, she juggled auditions and odd jobs, walking the same uncertain streets as countless dreamers before her. But unlike many, Keaton had something quietly unshakable. She believed in herself without needing approval. Her first real breakthrough came when she joined the Broadway cast of Hair in the late 1960s, a production that captured the spirit of rebellion sweeping through America. Yet it wasn't just the show's daring message that drew attention, it was Diane. She refused to conform, even within a play built on nonconformity. Her talent, her voice, and her slightly offbeat energy made her magnetic. She didn't fit a mold, and that was precisely her power. But her destiny would take an even sharper turn when she auditioned for a young director named Woody Allen. That meeting marked the start of one of Hollywood's most iconic creative partnerships. They shared not just a comedic wavelength, but a kindred artistic curiosity. Keaton's breakout film role came in 1972 with Play It Again, Sam, written by Allen. Suddenly, audiences saw someone unlike any other leading lady on screen. Neurotic, funny, brilliant, unpolished, and yet irresistibly charming. Diane wasn't performing femininity, she was redefining it. Then came the moment that would change everything. In 1972, Francis Ford Coppola cast her as Kay Adams in The Godfather. It was a role that placed her in the heart of one of cinema's greatest sagas, surrounded by titans like Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. As Kay, she embodied innocence colliding with corruption, love turned to disillusionment. Her performance was subtle but powerful, a quiet emotional anchor amid chaos. She returned for The Godfather Part 2 and Part 3, completing one of the most unforgettable character arcs in film history. Even in a world dominated by men, Keaton's presence lingered in every frame, haunting and human. But it was Annie Hall in 1977 that became her cinematic heartbeat and Hollywood's love letter to her uniqueness. As Annie, Diane Keaton was the anti-Hollywood heroine. Awkward, funny, self-conscious, endearing, deeply human. Her performance was so authentic that it transcended acting. She was Annie Hall, or perhaps Annie Hall was her. With her oversized suits, boyish hats, and unfiltered charm, she made imperfection fashionable. The world fell in love with that style. The Annie Hall look became a cultural revolution. Yet, more than the clothes, it was the freedom she represented that struck a chord. For millions of women, Keaton's Annie was a revelation. Proof that you could be yourself, unapologetically, and still be extraordinary. Her performance earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, solidifying her place in film history. But even at that height of fame, Diane remained grounded. She never sought to be a Hollywood goddess. She wanted to be an artist. Her career from that point became a tapestry of daring choices. From romantic comedies to intense dramas, from the neurotic and playful to the profoundly introspective. In films like Manhattan, Reds, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, and Baby Boom, she revealed layer after layer of her artistic soul. In Reds, Her portrayal of journalist Louise Bryant showcased her dramatic depth, earning her another Oscar nomination. She held her own beside Warren Beatty and delivered performances filled with intellect and emotion. Every role she played carried that unmistakable Keaton essence, intelligent yet vulnerable, confident yet searching. But Diane Keaton wasn't just acting on screen. She was shaping the identity of women in cinema. She wasn't interested in being the perfect girlfriend or the glamorous beauty. She wanted to show real women, complicated, funny, insecure, ambitious, and brave. She made it okay to be awkward, to laugh too loudly, to love imperfectly. Through her, the world saw that women could be multidimensional and that their stories were worth telling in all their messy, beautiful glory. As her career evolved, so did she. Diane seamlessly transitioned into the next phase of her life with grace, taking on roles that reflected maturity without losing charm. Films like Something's Gotta Give and The Family Stone showcased her timeless magnetism, proof that age could enhance, not diminish, brilliance. She continued to bring laughter, heart, and wisdom to the screen, reminding audiences that true beauty lies in character, not perfection. Off-screen, Diane Keaton was just as fascinating. She was never afraid to be herself, eccentric, curious, deeply introspective. Her love life often drew headlines, with high-profile relationships with Al Pacino, Warren Beatty, and Woody Allen, but she never married. She once said she didn't need marriage to feel complete, that her independence was her greatest love story. Later in life, she adopted 2 children, Dexter and Duke, becoming a devoted and joyful mother. Her journey into motherhood was yet another reminder of her courage to live life on her own terms. Beyond acting, Keaton is also an acclaimed photographer, writer, and architectural preservationist. Her passion for design led her to restore old homes across Los Angeles, blending art and history into living beauty. Her memoirs, including Then Again and Let's Just Say It Wasn't Pretty, are beautifully honest reflections on aging, love, and self-acceptance. They reveal a woman who has learned to embrace imperfection and to find joy in it. Diane Keaton's style, too, became an extension of her philosophy. The wide-brimmed hats, turtlenecks, gloves, and tailored suits are more than fashion. They are expressions of self-respect and individuality. She made modesty bold and eccentricity elegant. Every outfit, like every role, tells a story of a woman who knows who she is and refuses to apologize for it. Over the decades, she has earned countless awards and honors, including the AFI Life Achievement Award, cementing her as one of the most significant figures in film history. Yet, despite her accolades, she has never lost her humility. She often jokes about her anxieties, her quirks, her fears, and in doing so, she makes everyone around her feel human, too. That's the magic of Diane Keaton. She doesn't stand above the audience. She stands beside them. What makes her legacy so enduring is not just her filmography, but the emotional fingerprints she's left on those who've watched her. She's made people laugh, cry, reflect, and dream. She's shown that vulnerability can be powerful, that humor can be profound, and that self-acceptance is the most beautiful form of rebellion. In a world obsessed with youth and perfection, Diane Keaton reminds us that authenticity never goes out of style. She's taught us that it's okay to grow older, to make mistakes, to laugh at yourself, to keep evolving. Her career is a love letter to imperfection, proof that the most compelling characters and people are those who embrace who they truly are. Today, Diane Keaton stands as not just an actress, but an icon of individuality. She has lived with purpose, loved without fear, and created art that continues to inspire. Her laughter, her honesty, her boundless curiosity, they are all part of the legacy she leaves behind. Whether she's dancing in a romantic comedy, reflecting in an interview, or sharing her life through her photography, she radiates something timeless, joy. Because Diane Keaton's story is more than a Hollywood success. It's about courage. The courage to be strange, to be different, to be yourself in a world that constantly tells you to conform. It's about finding beauty in imperfection and strength in softness. Her life reminds us that there's freedom in authenticity, that life is funnier, kinder, and more beautiful when you live it truthfully. Diane Keaton didn't just play roles, she lived them. She transformed vulnerability into art, humor into wisdom, and aging into something radiant. Her laughter still echoes through every generation of women who've looked at her and thought, I can be myself, too. And that's what makes her unforgettable. Thank you for watching and joining us in celebrating the extraordinary legacy of Diane Keaton, a woman whose spirit redefined Hollywood, whose laughter brightened the screen, and whose authenticity continues to inspire millions. If her story moved you, if her life reminds you of the beauty of being yourself, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who loves her, and subscribe for more heartfelt tributes to the icons who changed the world through honesty, courage, and love. Because Diane Keaton showed us something simple but eternal, that the best way to shine is to be unapologetically yourself.